Welcome to the OT Tip of the Month. This month, I'd like to talk with you about flexible seating. There are lots of benefits to flexible seating and having this as an option in your classroom. The first is that it gives our students some choice. They have some say in what is going to be most helpful for their learning on that particular day. When they have that option for choice, they have more ownership in the classroom, they feel more part of the community, and it really has a lot of benefits for our students. It's interesting when looking at the research with flexible seating, it really is emerging in the last 5 years or so. So there's not a lot of research out there, but the research that has been conducted has been really positive in promoting flexible seating. There was a recent 2022 study by Putman, Pennington, and Munsey that was done in a higher education setting. And what they found is that when students were in a physically comfortable classroom, they were more likely to feel a sense of well-being, and it promoted a sense of well-being. They had improved focus, limited distractions, and they also saw positive benefits both with mental health and physical health. There was also a 2019 study that was done to understand the perceptions of parents, teachers, and students in regards to flexible seating. And what that study found is that the teachers saw a lot of the benefits that are listed here on the screen. The parents were in favor of it as long as their student was learning, and the students really had a positive experience and enjoyed being able to move around, being able to choose what type of seating that they were using. So let's take a look at how you can successfully implement some of the flexible seating options. First and foremost is that you need to set up rules and expectations in your classroom so that students know when, where, how, why they're using these different opportunities. The more that you're clear with your expectations, the more successful it's going to be in your classroom. And one thing to keep in mind is that usually when you have a new environment set up or introduce a new piece of equipment, with most students, it takes about a week for the novelty to wear off, sometimes 2 weeks, but usually in general about a week. And that's where that first week, you really do need to reinforce the rules and expectations so that they can learn how to use that piece of equipment. It's also important to reinforce that this is a privilege, that they have these different options. And the more variety that you can have available in the environment, the better. This particular picture, they have some couches, they have a table, they have that fun blue chair that they can sit in. So there's some different variety available in the environment. I worked with one school where every single classroom had a standing desk. So students always had that opportunity to go stand at a desk. There was another classroom that I worked in that had all sorts of options. They had ball chairs, they had standing desks, they had clipboards for students to be able to sit on the floor. That particular classroom had carpet. And then they also had kind of a lower table that students could kind of sit cross-legged at and be lower to the floor. So really there's a lot of different options. If you go on Pinterest or you just do a Google search of flexible seating classroom, there's plenty of inspiration and ideas out there. It really is a matter of what's going to work best for your classroom, what's your budget, what are your thoughts as far as your whole classroom setup. We have also found that individual seat options are great, can be really great with helping with attention and engagement. So on the screen here, I took some pictures from the WhitFit website. All of these flexible seating options are available on there, except for the middle chair on the bottom, which is a rocker chair. I took that picture from Accent Environments, where we have ordered rocker chairs before. The black rocker chair in the bottom middle and the upper right red rocker chair allow for kind of linear back and forth movement in this fashion. And we've really seen a benefit with students with ADHD with using those types of seating. Each student is individual in what they like and what they need. And this is where your occupational therapist can really help to direct if you have individual student needs. There's also different options to allow for more rotational movement, like the green topped stool at the bottom or the hokey stool, the purple one on the bottom right. Those allow for some back and forth movement, but they also allow for some rotation as well. So it really depends on the student's needs and what they like. Those two stools also require a little bit more control and stability in our core and our postural system. So that's something to keep in mind too, that those might be used for a shorter amount of time as compared to, say, the rocker chair or the disco sit. The ball chair, the black option on the top, that allows for more linear movement up and down. That one has a base that it sits in, but you can also have ball chairs that have legs. Again, that requires a little bit more stability. They can roll around a little bit more, so they can be a little bit more disruptive in class. And the disco sit, the middle blue option on the top, is a great one for either sitting just right on the ground or sitting on a chair. That allows for both, back and forth this way, linear movement back and forth, or, you can kind of get some rotation. It's basically just a seat filled with air. Again, individual students' preferences, it's going to take about a week for the novelty to wear off and see if they like it. I would encourage you to reach out to your occupational therapist and or special education team to find out if they have any of this equipment available to loan to general education classrooms. Some schools have options that they filter out to many classrooms, so I would certainly encourage you to check on that. There are also funding options either for these seats or if you're looking to do a bigger classroom shift. There are grants that are available. I know Lisa Witt with WITFIT has been helpful to work with classroom teachers to find various grants. And you can also access your parent-teacher association. They're always looking for ways to support the school, and they might be a source of funding as well. So I hope this gives you some ideas and some options to consider now or in the future, and hope that this will help your students with learning.